Hi, I'm Paul Miles and I'm at TU-Automotive Detroit 2017. And today I'm joined by Ken Stewart, Chief Strategy Officer of Karma Automotive. Hi, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Paul.
Yes, can I obviously just kick off with the powertrain question? What do you see the advantages of fully electric vehicles in the driverless car scenario?
Yeah, well, I think there are advantages, and you know, the identity of an electric car started as sort of this little commuter and this substandard vehicle, but a lot of work has been done the last several years to change that, and significantly Tesla has re-indexed, I think, a lot of what people identify as an electric car and what it can do. And you know, the electric motor has a tremendous amount of torque, even at low speed, so that inherently is an advantage. Obviously, it's more efficient than an internal combustion engine. So if we can get the battery energy storage right, then you can have a very capable car that does as much or more than any other conventional automobile of 20 years ago. It's a very compelling argument as to why you would buy, even separate from the argument about clean air and all those sorts of things in efficiency. It's just fun to drive.
But wouldn't hydrogen do the same thing and be lighter in as much as it wouldn't need the batteries and it has the range with assuming the infrastructure is there?
Yeah, well, I've had the benefit of working on internal combustion engines, electric, hybrid, and fuel cells as well. And there are advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, if there were one perfect solution, we'd all be there. The fact that there's such a portfolio of technologies right now all sort of vying for space means that it kind of depends on the duty cycle, how the vehicle's used. Also depends a little bit on cost and things like that. So a fuel cell still needs an electric motor, obviously at the end, but it is very efficient at converting the hydrogen into electricity, which is great. But the hydrogen itself as a fuel is not very energy dense. So as a result, you've got pretty large tanks on board, unless you chill this hydrogen down to a liquefied form, which is very difficult to do on board a car. So hydrogen's tricky. It doesn't flow like gasoline. We've been building a 100-year infrastructure around gasoline, so it's a little hard to displace that for the sake of hydrogen. At least with electric drive, you've got an electric grid and the prospects of that right away in order to refuel the car. I do see tremendous progress, though, with fuel cells, primarily from the Japanese and some of the American and European manufacturers. They've made tremendous strides in the last 10 years in terms of packaging, the ability to get this thing into a small package on board the car, and also reducing the amount of platinum and precious metals to reduce the cost of the system, which was a huge barrier 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, of course. But I've spoken to various engineers in Japan, and they say the advantage they see for hydrogen is it's out-of-car storage versus the out-of-car storage of batteries, which you have leakage, you have degradation.
Yeah.
Could you see a system where we'd have a hybrid system of storing energy as gas, but then using it to make electricity before it gets to the car?
I think that's possible. You've got to look at what's often called the well-to-wheels equation, right? All the way from the ground, all the way to how do you put torque to the wheels. And the equation says that electric cars is very good as long as the source of the electricity is relatively clean. And the hydrogen equation is almost as good, can be better sometimes depending on the sources. The ultimate solution may very well be hydrogen, because obviously you could create this source of fuel from most anything. And that's got a tremendous potential. I'm going to be pretty old by that happens, but the prospects I think are just fascinating.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you.